Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to this Sidcot Virtual Open Day. My name is Ian Kilpatrick, I'm the headmaster, and I'm delighted that you're able to join us to learn a little more about Sidcot and what we have to offer. I'm joined by a few colleagues and we will in turn give you some short presentations which will hopefully give you some further information. But this is also an opportunity for you to ask questions of us and to get any further information that you may require on Sidcot and how that's going to work for your son or daughter. And the way to do that is through the Q&A function on the computer. So if you have a question that you would like to submit, please do so. We will try to address as many questions as we can over the course of the webinar, but if we run out of time or if we're not able to do so in the moment, then we will get back to you as quickly as possible. If you haven't had a chance to look at the school and to see the school environment, then there's an opportunity to do so through our VR tour. So if you want to look at the school in virtual reality, please go to the website and you'll have a chance to see that. And also at the end of this, if there are any further opportunities that you'd like to have to speak to specific members of staff, although the school is on holiday, we will do our best to make sure that we can either connect you with the relevant colleagues or answer any questions that you might have. The way to access all of this information is through the admissions team, and the email address and the contact details for that will come up at the end of the webinar. So we've probably got about 50 minutes or so together where we can share some information and hear from you. So thank you again for taking the time this morning to join us. And I know that we have people from around the world, so it's a real pleasure not just to have people in our local community, but also from further afield. Now, it is a little bit unusual to be doing a webinar or an open event in the middle of the school holidays, but then we live in very unusual times. And since school finished about 4 weeks or so ago, I've had some chance to reflect on just what the summer term was like for us at Sidcot, and I think nobody is going to forget the summer term of 2020 in a hurry, because it was a term like no other. And I was really impressed by my colleagues and also by our students, by the ways in which they were able to adapt very quickly to the change that was brought around by school closure. So if you can imagine and remember way back to March when schools closed, we flipped over immediately to our virtual learning program, our online supported learning offer. And I was really impressed at the way in which students adapted to that very quickly, that colleagues were able to put a lot of content and a lot of support through that for students, and that they basically didn't really miss a beat in terms of their learning. So we felt quite reassured that by the end of the term, although we hadn't been able to do the same sort of face-to-face learning that we would hope to do and that we would normally be doing, the virtual learning that we were doing made sure that everybody was where they needed to be at the end of the academic year. And I think that was particularly important for those students who are facing external exams. And I can speak as a parent on this because my son is in lower sixth and he was studying for his A-levels. So he's going to come back next year for the second year of A-level study. And I was really impressed with the way in which he was able to continue his learning. And actually, he conceded the point that he felt that he was perhaps further ahead through the virtual learning that he was getting than he might be if he'd been at school. I'm not quite sure what that says about him or about school, but nonetheless, that was his reflection on that process. So we are now looking very positively with a degree of optimism and excitement at September and what that's going to bring. And we are very much open for business. We have had an opportunity over the course of the summer term to invite all of those students who want to and were able to come into school to have either face-to-face lessons an opportunity to meet with their tutors, an opportunity to meet with their peers, which has been equally important in the time that they've been in lockdown, so that they feel as confident as they can about coming back in September. But we understand and appreciate that it's going to be a process that needs to be very carefully managed. So what we're doing, and quite unusually for us, is that we're having some orientation sessions prior to the start of the school year. And that's just an opportunity for all of our students, those who are returning students and those that are new to the school community, just to come in and feel comfortable with the space, get to meet people, really get into the idea of being back at school, because we know, I think for all of us, that particular routine has been disrupted over the course of last term, and we want to make sure that there is a smooth and carefully managed progression back into school. But it is certainly our anticipation that it will be business as normal, with the caveat that we will be observing all the government guidelines with regards to social distancing and health and safety. So we want everyone to come back to a safe campus, but equally we want people to come back to a lively school experience, and that's what we've been very carefully working on over the course of last term and also during the summer holidays, and that's what we're looking forward to in September. So I'm hoping that that's given you a little bit of a sort of overview as to where we've been, and it's been quite a journey for us, just as it has been, I think, for all schools and certainly for everybody over the last few months. But one of the things that I think has come through very clearly over this period of time have been the school's values. And I think that when you take away all the other things that schools provide in terms of delivering a curriculum and supporting learning, the values are probably the bedrock on which a school community is based. And I think what I've found in all of our students in these times of quite extreme adversity, that they have been resilient, that they have been good communicators, that they have been adaptable in their styles of learning, and that they have been prepared to have a go. And instead of just pulling up the duvet and hoping for things to get better, they've been quite on the front foot in terms of making sure that they're getting the best out of their time at school and accepting that these are quite unprecedented times for them to be in. So we've not had quite the same amount of interaction that we would normally have, particularly over a summer term, which is always for us a very busy time at school. But nonetheless, we have had a time where we've really felt connected as a school community, and I think that's been really important. In a time where everything else in our lives has been very much disrupted and very unpredictable, the strength that comes from feeling part of something and having the support from others around you, even if they are not necessarily in the same room at the same time, has been, I think, a real strength of the school, and something which has certainly supported me over what has been quite a challenging time in managing the school community and coming through the other end. So we are set fair, hopefully, for easier waters when we return in September, but actually very reassured that the things that matter are the things that have come very clearly to the fore. So I hope you're going to enjoy the time with us. As I said, do please put in any questions you might have via the Q&A part on the computer. But without further ado, I'm going to pass over to one of my colleagues, one of my senior leadership team colleagues, Natalie Bone, who is the head of the junior school, and she's going to talk a little bit about what the junior school offer here at Sidcot is like. So without further ado, over to you, Natalie.
Thank you, Ian, and welcome everybody. My name is Natalie Bone. I'm the head of the junior school at Sidcot School. So I thought, first of all, it would be really good to show everybody a snapshot of our beautiful campus that we have in the Somerset countryside. We are based on over 160 acres in the most wonderful setting, and we are really fortunate to have so many brilliant facilities that we can use. So I've got a little red pointer which will hopefully be able to kind of show you around where you are. And I'll just talk through sort of how our geographical location is set out and the different aspects of the campus. So of course I'm going to start in the top right hand corner. We have the junior school. So it's quite a big building. Part of it is old and part of the right hand side is purpose built and newer. All of the classrooms have their own external door which opens to the outside, which has been absolutely brilliant in these difficult times where we do need to keep pupils safe and sort of distance from each other. And we have the most wonderful playground, which is in the top right hand corner, and some great play equipment for the children, as well as a dedicated early years area where their classrooms very much spill out onto their own sectioned off play areas and outdoor areas for learning. Just beneath the junior school, we have got our own sports field, which is just next to us there. And then you can see the proximity we have to the main part of the senior school, which is on the left-hand side of the main of that sort of road, the trackway, which goes right the way down through the middle. So in the top part of that, we have the science block, which is just up near the entrance there. And then moving to the left, we have the most wonderful art centre in the top left-hand corner, where lots of the senior school lessons, and this is kind of the main area for the senior school academic lessons and the different learning they do. There is the refectory, where everybody eats lunch, junior school included. Junior school comes over slightly before the senior school children and pupils go in, and we come over with teachers, with the teaching assistants, and we all sit together as a class, and it's a fabulous time of the day where we can connect to each other, and it actually equips the junior school children with a very mature approach to interacting, talking, and also that important kind of time of connecting over a meal, which has got a special element to it. So we've got the main academic buildings where most of the senior school lessons take place, and the beautiful original building across the front where we do have boarding houses up in the top part of that, as well as some administrative offices lower down. And we've got a wonderful hub, which is like a cafe, social area for pupils and parents as well. Come in once a week, have coffees, or used to, and do that. But it's a great social area, and the food at Sidcot is absolutely wonderful. Loads of different choices of hot and cold and pasta and live cooking options. The pupils are really fortunate, and we know how important nutrition is to keep them able to keep going and grow strong and focus on their studies. So just below that main part of the academic block, we have the sports centre. We've got an amazing pool, which is absolutely beautiful. We do all the swimming lessons on site. Junior school pupils all swim at least once a week and have swimming lessons, and there are lots of different activities after school which they can join in. Water polo, rookie lifeguards, free swims with inflatables. We make really good use of the swimming pool, and we're kind of waiting to hear what the guidance is for that going forwards, but at some point I very much hope we'll be back together. So in that same building, we've also got an amazing sports hall and lots of changing rooms and space for there. So as we cross back over the road, in the bottom central part, you'll see our amazing equestrian centre. Some children bring their own horses on livery to live at the equestrian centre. Some children just bring their own horses in to have lessons and instruction there, and it's a really great facility to have on the campus and very much enjoyed by some of the pupils. So in the bottom right hand corner is one of our boarding houses. This is one of the girls' boarding houses, and just behind it is our forest school. And we in the junior school, we do spend quite a lot of time in the forest school. We like to sort of use it in different ways as the years and the ages progress through the junior school. We use it in different ways. So at the younger ages, it's more about exploring nature and understanding about how ecosystems interact and develop. And then as we move through to, for instance, year 6, we really start to use it for our academic delivery. So, for instance, I went out there last term and there was, or the spring term when we were still going, and they were doing a brilliant session on the digestive system. So the children all had a pair of tights, they were mixing up mud pies, and they were just understanding about the flow, you know, through the body. And it's certainly a lesson they're not going to forget. So we use it in lots of different ways, and we very much enjoy making use of outdoor learning. We have got our own outdoor learning coordinator, and dotted around the campus, we have lots of outdoor learning yurts where all of the school and the teachers are able to get outside and have a covered area for classrooms, as well as just getting out and around the wonderful campus to make use of the learning in the creative way that teachers apply it. So that hopefully will give you an idea of where we're based and what we look like. And I'm now going to talk to you a little bit about how we learn and what we learn. Now, this does apply to the junior school and the senior school. Obviously, I'm talking much more from a perspective of the junior school, but the theme and the ethos very strongly runs between both of the schools. We share a campus, we share the same vision, and we are very much a whole through school from the ages of 3 right the way up to 18. So we very much feel that one size does not fit all. It's really, really important that we have an individual approach to every single child, and teaching is very much tailored to the individual. Teachers spend a lot of time getting to know the children, getting to know how they learn, what motivates them, what they find difficult, and the ways that they can improve. And our teachers invest a lot of time into getting to know the individual, and the teachers are very creative in what they use and what is delivered for those children. So this does provide a really exceptional, both academic as well as pastoral care for every individual that is at Sidcot School. Another thing we're really, really passionate about in learning is we recognise how important it is for children to be engaged in their learning. They've got to be engaged and happy to invest themselves. And it's wonderful walking around, hopefully you'll have a chance to visit us. There is a contagious enthusiasm for learning. The children are so excited about what they're learning about. They're very, free and at liberty to ask questions, investigate, and it really helps to promote their individual and independent learning skills, which we have found over this lockdown time to be so vital in sustaining their learning and progression. And hopefully we've already equipped them with those independent learning skills, which has certainly helped very much through this time. We just feel that we can't make children learn, we have to develop the skills in them so they really want to learn themselves. So that's a really important focus for us at Sidcot. Another really important focus in how we learn is we recognise how vital it is to provide the right environment for growth. So we have dynamic teachers, they're really passionate about learning, they're skilled practitioners with an excellent ability to adapt and cater for the different needs in the classroom and differentiation that are there. We have exciting lessons, we have a broad curriculum, we have lots of different opportunities in sport, extracurricular, personal growth, self-awareness, global awareness and contribution to others around them. So all of these elements hopefully will equip these lovely young people once they progress on and leave school, and that's what we're hoping to equip them with. Certainly in the junior school, we're very aware that this is the children's first experience of community life, and we are very aware and we guard very carefully that it is a positive experience. So relationships, interactions, their experience of learning really has to be a positive one. So they have a really good platform to go on to their academic studies once they get a little bit older. And then finally, living adventurously. You might have seen our motto. We really want the children to be curious in life, in what they're learning about, in their academic studies. We want them to ask questions, we want them to speak up, and we very much listen to the voice of our pupils. That's really important to us. We want them to be equipped with a sense that they can make an impact and change the world around them, at no matter what level, no matter what corner of the world they come from. We want them to progress and be individuals who know that they can make a difference to the world. So Sidcot children tend to be, they're quite confident, but they're self-aware and very considerate. And it is a very warm, welcoming, friendly and a wonderful place to be, both for the children and the adults who work there. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea of who we are and how we do things at Sidcot. I'm now going to hand over to Christian Hughes, who is our Deputy Head of Academics. He's going to talk to you about the academic offer at Sidcot and the learning wheel, which encompasses all of the things and the way that we approach the learning. Now, unfortunately, he's not able to be with us today, but he has pre-recorded this information for you to watch. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. It really is a pleasure to be with you this morning, albeit not in person. As Ian said, my name is Christian Hughes, and I'm the Deputy Head Academic here at Sidcot School. My key role is to ensure that as a school, we maintain the highest standards of teaching and learning, and therefore academic achievement across the whole school and curriculum. We're committed to ensuring that every student, regardless of their ability, has an equal opportunity to maximise their full potential. That's both in and out of the classroom. And we do this by ensuring that our students experience a broad range of innovative teaching and learning styles that not only excite and increase engagement with the curriculum, but also engender that lifelong love of learning that will stand our students in really good stead as they progress along their learning and career pathways beyond school. With regard to our different courses in the senior school, unlike some other schools, we look to keep our curriculum as broad as possible for as long as possible. So in years 7, 8 and 9, we keep options open, only asking our students to make choices once they start their GCSE courses in year 10. Our offer in the sixth form is also diverse, with our students able to progress along 3 different curriculum routes to university education and employment. So students may study A-levels as the traditional route to university, and these courses really stretch the most able students and allow them to embark upon specialised study of their chosen subjects. Or they may take the IB, the International Baccalaureate Diploma, which provides an excellent alternative for those wishing to study a broader curriculum. And the ethos of the IB, with its broad curriculum and emphasis on study skills, community service and internationalism, fits really well with our Quaker Values at Sidcot. In the IB, our students will study 6 subjects, 3 at higher level and 3 at standard level, with the organisation of subject choices ensuring that they maintain a breadth of study across English, mathematics, science, humanities, languages and the arts. A third option for our sixth form students is that they may choose to study what's called a level 3 Btec Diploma in either sport or business studies. And these Btecs are more career-based qualifications equivalent to 2 A-levels. And the Btecs are designed to give students practical skills and specialist knowledge that they need to progress along their chosen career path. So these diplomas are more vocational qualifications that provide specialist work-related learning in a range of sectors. And all 3 of these study options in the sixth form, so that's the A-level, the IB and the Btec, provide good progression routes to study at university. Okay, I'd now like to tell you a little bit about our Sidcot Learning Wheel, which is about to appear on the screen in front of you. And teaching and learning at Sidcot School is best represented by this wheel, which is our innovative whole school curriculum model. And the learning wheel that you can see in front of you identifies the principal aims of our classroom practice, which is to develop transferable skills in our students, which will equip them for life at school and also beyond. These skills, which you can see in the green sections of the wheel, are the basis of these important employability skills. And they include, as you can see in the wheel, thinking skills, self-managing, communicating, collaborating, practical learning, and researching. And these skills are developed throughout our curriculum, but also our pastoral provision.
Thanks very much, Christian. Apologies that Christian can't be with us in person. He is our Deputy Head Academic, and this is the calm before the storm for him, because we are just about to have the results for the A-levels and GCSEs published towards the end of next month. So he's taking a bit of well-earned time off to prepare for that. But we have already received the results for our IB cohort, and we were delighted that this year all of our students have performed very strongly in the IB, including one of our students who got an amazing 44 out of 45, which is a phenomenal score in anyone's books, and a really strong testament to her particular commitment and focus on her studies. And without wanting to sound too trite, last year one of our students got 45 out of 45. So we're very proud of the way in which our students are performing at IB, and our IB score was 31 as an average, which is significantly above that of the world average. So well done to all of our IB students. And I think it's been particularly interesting to look at the way in which IB has been assessed, because this, like the GCSEs and A-levels that are coming to follow, has been assessed based on the grades that have been awarded by the schools and moderated by the IB in this case, and it will be moderated by A-level and GCSE boards in due course. So what we've got is a really good snapshot of the accuracy of our teachers' grades and assessments, and that has been, I think, very important for us to make sure that students are getting the awards at the end of the day that they deserve, and therefore it was reassuring and obviously very pleasing that not only had our students done so well, but they got broadly what we were expecting them to do as well, and we're hoping that that's going to be the case later on this month with A-level and GCSE. Christian referenced very briefly the Btec courses, and we run two Btecs here at Sidcot. Btec Sport, which has been running for 3 years, and we're looking forward to seeing how our Btec sports students do when the exam results come out in a few weeks' time. And we've introduced from September Btec Business. And I think if you've got students, sons or daughters who are interested in either of these programs, do get in touch. It's a wonderful complement, the Btec program, to A-level or IB, because it's got a far more focus on assessment through continuous means rather than being exam focused. So hopefully within our sixth form offer, there really is something for everyone. And if you'd like to know more about any of these programs, again, do get in touch with our admissions team. Right, I think probably at this stage enough from us, and now an opportunity to hear from some of our students and parents. So we've got a short presentation which are hearing from the horse's mouth, as it were, hearing from our students about their experience at Sidcot, and also hearing from some of our parents about why they've chosen to send their children to us. So sit back and enjoy the next 5 minutes or so.
Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you all today. I hope you're all well from wherever you're watching me from. My name is Maddie Northcott and I'm the current head girl at Sidcot School. I'm currently in year 13 and I've been here since year 7, and I would love to share with you today a little bit about what life at Sidcot is like. I think something that is very unique to Sidcot is its ability to be able to develop a fully rounded student. Through the incredible pastoral care and passionate teaching, there is a real sense here that every student has their own individual place. Another major strength, which I found impeccable here, is the school's willingness to see students succeed in the areas where they are most strong. Whether that be academically, in the sports or in the arts, every teacher is more than keen to invest their time to help students succeed. Being here since year 7, I really have seen every aspect of the school, and something that has never failed to amaze me is the inclusivity and opportunities that the school provides you with. I know throughout my earlier years in the school, I was definitely trying to find my niche, and I can wholeheartedly say that the teachers have helped me get to where I am today. Last year, the school offered me an amazing amount of support in setting up a fundraiser to raise money for the charity Surfers Against Sewage by selling my hoodies that I designed for my brand Offshore Surf. I raised over £1,000 in fundraising money for the charity, and I can say that I would not have been able to do it without the school's amazing support. I hope to study philosophy next year at Manchester University after a gap year, and then go on to attain a law conversion. This more varied approach to the world of law definitely has been influenced by the vast case of opportunities and ideas that the school has provided me with. I would like to thank you all for today for listening to my speech, and I would also like to thank Sidcot School, because I am able to say that I'm absolutely proud of who I am to be today, and I'm absolutely proud to call Sidcot my school. I hope you all get a chance to visit there soon, and in the meantime, I hope you all stay well. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Ollie, and I'm a student here at Sidcot in year 10. I wanted to give you a flavour of what it's like to study here. I first joined Sidcot in year 7 when I was 11 and immediately felt welcomed. I joined because I was in love with music and drama, and the opportunities here are endless. I've done everything from performing and singing Handel's Messiah at the Royal Albert Hall to doing school plays and outreach projects, performing to other schools. And in February, I went to New York and performed these little half-hour plays, and the experience was phenomenal. But it's not only music and drama. You can do clubs from pottery to claving to learning to fly. But I think the thing I love most about Sidcot is the atmosphere. It's such a happy place and the people are great. It's a small school, so you know nearly all the students and teachers, and it feels like one big family. I love Sidcot, and there's not a day that goes by that I wish I had chosen a different school.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm in Year 12 and have been at Sidcot for 14 years. During this time, the school has given me the opportunity to take part in a range of activities, including art, music and sport, and has supported me in competing internationally in modern pentathlon. Other than its great facilities, I think what makes Sidcot different lies in its Quaker values. Everyone here is equal and feels free to be themselves. Teachers have open and friendly relationships with students and support them to reach their own potential, whatever that may look like. During my time at Sidcot, I have learnt to be independent, proactive, and speak truth to power, skills I think will serve me well in later life.
My name's Finn, and I joined Sidcot in Year 7 in September. When I joined, I didn't know many people, but there are lots of ways to help you settle in. Firstly, there's a taster evening. Then, in June, before the term starts, there's a whole day just to find your way around and meet your teachers. Finally, on the first day of term, it's just Year 7, so it's much less intimidating when the entire school joins on the second day. Personally, my favourite thing is sport, and I was partly attracted to this school because of the amazing sports facilities we have here. You can do everything from rugby, hockey, netball, to horse riding and even water polo. But during this school, I learned that it's not all about sport. There are loads of other activities that you can involve yourself in. Personally, on the first week of school, I auditioned for the play. I met loads of people, and it was much better as I knew more people in the school. Also, I joined Alpha Male, the all-boys singing choir, and it's got to be one of the highlights when we sung in the Royal Albert Hall. We performed Handel's Messiah. Lots of opportunities here at Sidcot, but my favourite thing is the people. It's a really happy environment here, and I love it. And about a year ago, if you asked me if I miss school, I would probably say no, but I do, and I can't wait to get back. Thanks for listening.
Hello, my name is Theodore. I'm 17 years old. I am from Romania, and I'm a student of Sidcot School. I joined in 2018 as a full-time boarder. For me, it was a big step, but I can tell you it was one of the greatest decisions that I have ever taken. For me, Sidcot made it very easily for me, and I can tell you that Sidcot is great. I chose Sidcot because the great teachers that we have, great boarding staff, very nice boarding houses, and of course, the very nice premises of Sidcot. I really enjoy Sidcot because of its proximity to Bristol and Wales. And also, I really enjoy Sidcot because we have so many opportunities in the school. As far as I'm concerned, I really like the international community that we have. We have people from Portugal, from Brazil, from the United States, Mexico, France, Italy, of course, the United Kingdom, Hong Kong, Japan, from all around the world, which is great, and I really enjoy that. Hopefully, you can join us at Sidcot.
I've been a Sidcot parent for 4 years. We chose the school for its creative approach, its beautiful setting. It's not a huge school, and I wanted my daughter to feel part of a family community, and the school really does feel that way. I think it's brilliant and fascinating that there's the Centre for Peace and Global Studies at the heart of the school, and that all of the learning at Sidcot is approached in a way that's about encouraging young people to make change and to be a part of their future. On our very first tour around the school, the first thing anybody said to us was, "So what are you into?" And to ask my daughter that and to tailor the whole tour around her just felt really different. And we'd looked around other schools that were really keen to sell themselves and to tell us all about them. But to be shown the school in the context of what would appeal to her felt really special. And that has been our experience of her whole time at Sidcot. I would recommend the school because everybody, all the staff, have taken the time to get to know my daughter as a person, to play to her strengths and to give her opportunities to try things she's never tried before and find out she's good at things she didn't imagine she would ever even attempt, let alone know she'd be good at. There have been some incredible opportunities for travel, for visits to the school, for working with other people, for touring plays around Somerset, for example. There's been so much she's got involved in that I just think our whole time at Sidcot has been really, really special. And I really do mean all the staff are great, and they take the time to know us as a family too. I think the other thing I would recommend is that as a parent, I really feel part of the school, and you're invited to come and take part in school life on regular occasions. And I just think that's something that at secondary school, it's really easy to lose, and we sort of lose contact with each other as parents of teenagers. But I feel like Sidcot is really supportive in bringing the whole family together around the school. Wouldn't hesitate to recommend it.
Hello, my name is Tonya and I'm the parent of 2 children at Sidcot, both of whom joined in year 7, the oldest of whom is now in year 10. We chose Sidcot because we wanted a school that would work equally for our children who are very different. One is very arty, the other is very sporty, and we wanted somewhere that provided equally good facilities for both those disciplines and somewhere that valued them both equally as well. We also wanted a happy and relaxed learning environment for the children, and when we came along to an open day 5 years ago, that's what we found. We found happy, relaxed, confident children, and we were struck by the teachers, how they were genuinely interested in the children. They didn't address all their comments to us, they asked questions of the children and they listened carefully to the answers. And when we left that day, our oldest was determined that he would not go anywhere except Sidcot. So we joined, and 4 years later we are delighted that we did, because what we saw on that open day was a true reflection of the way the school operates. The teachers genuinely are interested in the children. They want to know what makes them tick. They want to know what their strengths are, their weaknesses are, and crucially, they want to know how they learn so that they can tailor the teaching most effectively. And a result of that, my 2 very different children both feel at home at this school, and crucially, particularly for the older one who's going into GCSEs, they're both flourishing academically. They are both very happy, they love the school, they are missing it desperately and really want to get back in, and I'm not sure you get a better recommendation than that. I am very happy to talk to any parent who would like to talk to another parent about their experience of the school. So if that is something that would interest you, please just contact a member of the admissions team and they can facilitate that. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the presentations.
So, good morning. My name's Joanna Leighton. I'm the Deputy Head Pastoral here at Sidcot School. So essentially I oversee everything in the school that's not to do with teaching and learning, but I'm very lucky to have a wonderful team of dedicated professionals around me to help ensure that the pastoral care and provision at the school is truly excellent. So before I begin, I'd just like to thank our students and our parents for their contributions today. I think what they say really is what matters, so I'm not sure that I can add much value having listened to all that, but I hope that I am able to share some information with you that is of interest. So as you know, we are in very strange times and pastoral care has never been so important. In September, we plan to open our doors to all our students again, as the headmaster has said, and therefore rigorous plans are being put into place to support the mental health and well-being of all those in our school community. And this is being led by Mrs. Veronica Chidemo, who is our Assistant Head Pastoral Care and Wellbeing here at school. We are aware that we will need to give our students an incredible amount of time and space as they adapt again to school life and the daily routines, and we'll provide plenty of support as we come together again as a community. I'm confident that the pastoral care system that we already have in place at school will enable us to do this very successfully. So what does the pastoral care system look like here? Well, first of all, we have our tutors, and we're encouraged and really proud of the positive relationships that the tutors build with their tutees over time. Tutor groups are small, with around 14 students in each group, and students will meet with their tutors twice a day for registration, and they'll also meet with them for extended sessions throughout the week, for example, for PSHE. Tutors are the first point of contact for parents, and you're strongly encouraged to email the tutors if you ever have any concerns. As well as the tutors, we have our heads of year and deputy heads of year, and the heads of year also become very important point of contact for you in school. The heads of year will lead assemblies, and they enjoy celebrating success with the students in their year groups, and they will also help to provide pastoral support where required. The heads of year will monitor attendance at school and also the students' behaviour. And alongside Mrs. Chidemo, the heads of year play an active role in ensuring that the students' pastoral needs are met. We have a place in a system for supporting students with their mental health and wellbeing. So we have our Take 10 mentors, and they're available every lunchtime for students who just wish to drop in and have a chat with somebody. We also have Joey, who's our school counsellor, and she's in for 3 days a week, and she's there just to provide a little bit more specialised support for those children who require it. We have a wonderful team of nurses in our health centre, and they're always available to provide pastoral care for any child that needs it. They'll always put the kettle on and make a cup of tea for anyone who drops in. So in my role at school, I also oversee the boarding, which is something I'm truly passionate about, having worked in boarding for 10 years myself. We have around 150 boarders here at Sidcot, and they're from all around the world, and there is a truly wonderful international feel at school. The 150 boarders equates to around a third of our senior school numbers, so it's a really significant part of our community. So we're currently busy making lots of plans for the new academic year, and we'll do all we possibly can to ensure that the boarders have a safe and reassuring start to the year. All new boarders are faced with such a huge challenge anyway of moving away from home, and never has it been so important to make them feel welcome and safe within their new environment. So whilst we're putting into place new systems in the boarding houses that will enable us to follow government guidelines such as social distancing, wearing masks when required, and enhanced cleaning regimes, we are mindful that it is their home, and we want all the boarders to feel really cared for and supported throughout these somewhat uncertain times. We plan to open our doors on the 18th of August for any boarder who wishes to spend a 14-day quarantine period with us here at school, and the boarders will be looked after by our resident boarding staff through that period, and will benefit from living on the safe campus through those 2 weeks in this beautiful rural location. If you do have any questions that you'd like us to answer with regards to that, please do use the Q&A function, and we'll do all we can to help give you that information. We have various types of boarding available. So the majority of our boarders are full boarders, and they stay with us 7 days a week. That's not to say they can never leave the campus. They can go and stay with their guardians, family and friends, as long as we have all the permissions in place. We also have our weekly boarders, and they will stay 5 nights a week, and that can be a popular option with more local families, particularly for those people who in the sixth form who might be getting ready to go off to university. It just teaches them a little bit more independence, and they gain just a few more skills. You know, for example, having to change their own sheets every week, which is obviously an important one before they go off to university. We also have Flexi Boarding, that might be of interest to our day families. So this will allow pupils to commit to either 2 or 3 nights every week. And again, that gives them the option of joining our lovely, vibrant boarding community in an evening. They can make the most of the study facilities and also the social facilities, go to the sports hall and just hang out with their friends. Also, as part of the Flexi Boarding option, it may be that you just need to put your child into boarding for a week to facilitate them being in school, and you are able to do that by contacting our house staff. So there's an incredible amount of support provided for all students within the school, be it in day or for the boarding students. So focusing first of all with our third form, or year 7, as you may know that year as, it's safe to say that this is a really special year, and it's a huge change for the students as they settle into senior school life. And so a lot of work is done on transition, and we look forward to welcoming our year 7 to their induction day on Wednesday the 2nd of September. Year 12 students will also have an induction day on Wednesday the 2nd of September, and this is to help them with their transition into sixth form life. Our boarders will receive a comprehensive induction as they work their way through the first few weeks here at school and as they settle into their new lifestyles. Students, all new students in different year groups as well, will be given a buddy when they start school, and we will do everything we can to make sure that they feel settled and welcomed as soon as they possibly can. I think what's important to remember is that if anyone is finding it difficult at the start and they do need some help, please do let us know by either contacting the tutor, the head of year, or the pastoral team, because we can often really solve a problem very quickly if we're aware of it. We have an extensive co-curricular programme here at school as well, and this will provide lots of opportunities for your children to be involved in sport, drama, music, DAV, art, just to mention a few. And I would strongly recommend to all new starters that they do get involved in our co-curricular programme, as it helps them to develop as young people and also to be mixing with children from different age groups and really help them feel settled and part of the school community very quickly. So I think that's given you a little insight as to how the school does work pastorally. As I said, I'm happy to answer any questions, so please do use that Q&A function. Also, we are recording this open morning, so you will be able to see it again at some point if you wanted to. So I'm going to hand back now to Mr. Kilpatrick, and thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much, Jo, and thank you indeed to all of my colleagues who have made presentations this morning, which I hope you have found informative, useful, and giving you just a little bit more colour as to what the experience here at Sidcot is all about. We have a little bit of time left for some questions, so I'm going to dive straight into those now. And the first one, perhaps unsurprisingly, is about plans for September. Can you explain your plan for students returning to school in September to ensure everyone is as safe as possible? Hopefully you've got a bit of a sense of the planning that's taken place really over the course of last term, but also during the summer holidays, to make sure that we are, first of all, making sure that everybody's safe and well in returning to school, and also complying with the UK government guidelines. And those are subject to revision and subject to change, and I think we'll continue to do so over the next few weeks. We have put together a full plan of how we are preparing for September, and that's available online, and it's also something that you can get from the admissions department. So if you want to get the absolute chapter and verse of all the things that we're doing, please do get in touch with admissions and they will send that document to you. But effectively, the planning goes down 3 levels, looking at making sure that things are safe and people are well looked after, and the management of any infection is clearly and safely dealt with. Making sure that teaching and learning continues, because our youngsters need to get back into the way of being in face-to-face classrooms and delivering the curriculum in that way. And also, as Jo I think really went into a lot of detail around, is making sure that the emotional well-being for our students is put at the centre as well. So those are the 3 sort of pillars around our planning. But if you'd like to get more information around that, particularly if you are interested in boarding and you're coming from a country outside the UK. Jo gave a little bit of an idea about what we're doing with quarantine, but if you want to know flights and various other things that we're setting up to support all of that, admissions is the best place to go. So either drop us an email with your questions or get in touch with them directly. Okay, one I think for Natalie here, you mentioned in the junior school about how you follow the children's interest in their learning. Are you able to explain how that actually works in the classroom? So over to Natalie, our head of the junior school, to address that particular question.
Hi, yeah, thank you, Ian. I think it's really important to go with the children's interests. I'm particularly thinking about a young man who he actually had some family who lived in Australia, and there were lots of the fires that were going on. And he was asking a lot of questions about it. So the teacher put together a whole, I guess it was a thematic approach to understanding about the issues that were surrounding the forest fires, and it was broken down into the different subjects. So they did look a little bit at the geography of the forest fires, the science of why the fires were happening, the biology and looking at how forests and things would regenerate, the dangers for the animals and why there were issues surrounding that, as well as looking at different authors, poems, stories and different parts of that. So we supported with the children to sort of increase their knowledge about the situation that was happening, including touching lightly on some of the global issues and the support that was needed. But we also then, he was so passionate about it, we really helped to mobilise him to raise awareness about the forest fires and the animal suffering in the Australian bushfires. He did an assembly, the whole class were involved, presenting to all the other children in the junior school. We've got about 150 children in the junior school. And then they put together a bake sale so they could actually raise some money and then contribute that money to the cause. So they really felt that they were making a difference themselves. And we also do participate in some of these sort of disaster lunches, we call it, where we do still all eat lunch, but we have a really hearty meal of bread and soup and lots of fruit and unlimited amount of that, and it just helps us to contribute those funds to a cause. And Mr. Kilpatrick, headmaster, kindly allowed us to do one of those disaster lunches and again support those children's interests so they could feel they made a difference to the Australian forest fire. So it was a really, I hope that helps you understand the example. Thank you for listening.
Natalie, thanks very much for that, and thank you for that particular question. A question now about how we can accommodate and support children who are more academically able. Well, hopefully you've got a sense from our recent IB results that we are able to stretch the most academically gifted children and make sure that they attain their full potential in public exams. But we have a process of differentiation where nobody's left behind. It is as important for us to make sure that those students who struggle a little bit more in the classroom are given the support that they need, as well as those who for whom the academics come a bit more naturally and therefore need to be given some more stretch and challenge. How that operates within individual departments largely comes down to the way in which that's coordinated by the head of department, but it is overseen by Christian Hughes, who is our deputy head academic, and also our coordinator for scholars and lead learners, who's also one of our heads of department, Claire Winchester-Snell, who is head of modern foreign languages. So what we look at are ways in which we can provide extension material, that we can give an opportunity for youngsters to read around the subject, and that's particularly the case as they get towards sixth form and they're starting to think about their choices into A-level or IB and beyond school. So we have a programme where we will give an opportunity for to visit universities, to maybe go and visit specific areas of interest, links with the local community, links with industry, all those sorts of things are brought to bear, really to give as rich an opportunity for students who are academically able to engage in the wider learning process, so that it's not just a question of focusing on what's taught, it's actually using that as a springboard to develop their own ideas, to satisfy their own curiosity. We talked, I think, a little bit about the EPQ, the extended project qualification. Again, that's an opportunity to develop independent learning skills. So we try to make sure that we've got a broad pedagogical approach, which makes sure that we really are stretching those that need the stretch, but also not leaving anyone else behind. So hopefully that gives people a bit of a steer as to the way in which we address the whole process of differentiation. But again, if you want to know more about that, particularly if it's in a specific subject area, do let admissions know, and we will connect you with a member of staff that can let you know how that sits in their particular area. Okay, now I'm going to introduce another colleague who's been waiting patiently in the background. This is Angela Dudley-Ward, who is our Director of External Relations. This is a question for you, Angela, because it's quite an admissions-based question. In the Year 7 intake in 2021, what proportion do you envisage will be new students, and how many will come up from the junior school?
Hello, Ian. Thank you. Yes, we are very, very conscious of this mix of students coming from junior school to new students joining us, and we try very much to make it a 50-50 sort of split. So on a normal situation, we would have 25 to 30 students coming up from the junior school into Year 7, and we have a similar number, around 25 to 30 from other schools, so that we do have a really nice balance. Friendships can be developed very quickly. There are children that obviously know each other well, but they're also very keen to get to know lots of new students and make lots of new friendships too. So I think the balance is what we're looking for. I hope that helps answer your question.
Thank you very much indeed for that, Angela. Angela heads up the admissions team, so again, she will be a familiar face to any of you that want to get more information. One now for Joe, and this is quite a topical one, just given the virtual environment in which we have been operating over the last few months. Are children encouraged to use tablets and devices in senior school, mobile phones and device policy? Obviously, a parent wanting to know how we address those issues in school under normal face-to-face conditions. So one for you, Joe, on that.
Yes, thank you, Ian. Well, with regards to the mobile phone policy, we adapted it last year. So we brought in a policy which is essentially the students do not have mobile phones at all in school during the day. So we asked that Year 7 and 8 keep their mobile phone at home, and then Year 9, 10, 11 and the sixth form, they can bring their phones in, but they need to be switched off and out of sight. The sixth form are allowed to use their mobile phone in certain designated places. But it was really lovely to see last year as the new policy came in, to see our children interacting more, playing more, and the policy worked really well. So we're really pleased with that. With regards to the devices, we have a rolling programme. So currently any student in Year 9 and up will be using a device at school for all their lessons, and you can get information sent to you about the devices that they most appropriate to use in school. And Year 7 and 8, obviously they have been using devices while at home, so they are aware of how to use it to support their learning, and eventually with this rolling programme, everybody in school will be using devices. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed for that response, Joe. A very good question, very contemporary question to ask, so thanks for submitting that. Another one, I think, for Angela, and this is about school transport. So we have a number of students that live outside the sort of more general catchment area of the school, and we run a range of school transport to get them to and from school and home. So Angela, can you give us a little bit about how that works?
Yes, certainly, Ian. What we try to do is ensure that people that are coming a little bit further afield and do need and want the school transport to be able to cover from the routes and maps that we have available on the school website. So if you look at the admissions page, there is an information on transport showing the current routes and maps. What we try to do also is to change those routes according to various different locations that might pop up from time to time in a different year group. So if anyone is interested in having school transport, what they really need to do is have a look at the routes and maps that we have already established, but then to let us know as soon as possible so that we can adapt those routes to make sure that we're covering people around the whole wide area, right into Bristol and beyond, and to other areas around the Somerset and the Mendips area. Okay.
Thanks very much for that. And again, if you need any more specific information, do get in touch with Angela and the team, and they will be able to give that to you. We are, unfortunately, I think, just about out of time, and I've got one or two things that I do want to share before we finish. First of all, to everyone that's joined us this morning, thank you very much indeed. We do appreciate you taking time out of your Saturday morning to join us, and hopefully you found the information that we shared with you to be useful, and also to just give you a little bit more of a sense of what Sidcot is all about, and perhaps most importantly, whether you think that's going to be the right fit for you and for your children. Just a couple of points really about the admissions process. Although we are still working in an environment where we're very conscious of social distancing, we are able to do on-site tours. So if you are in the local area and you are able to come and visit us, the admissions team are working all through the summer holidays, and they'd be delighted to meet with you, give you a tour of the school campus and ask any questions that you might have. Just get in touch with them, and the information and way in which to do so will be at the end of the presentation. We have a slide which gives you all the contact details that you may require. And as I said earlier, if there are more specific questions that we haven't been able to answer, which relate to particular parts of the school provision, so it might be about our learning support provision, it might be about the modern languages that we teach, whatever it may be, if you want to, again, get in touch with admissions, ask those specific questions, and we will put you in contact with the colleague best placed to address them. We're just about to finish then with a musical performance which we showed at the end of the school year, where we traditionally have an end of year concert and we also have our prize giving, but because we weren't able to do that, we did this virtual performance of a piece called 4 Chords. I'm going to share that with you in a moment, and that will mark the end of the webinar with the information that's going to come up about how to get in touch with us. But I think I would just also like to leave you with a few words, because we are still living in quite difficult and quite unprecedented times, and education has to be the best way forward. And therefore, even though times our jobs are tricky, and I think in September there will be certain challenges that we as a school have to overcome, we still have the best job in the world, because we're working with young people who are our hope for the future. And those of you who know a little bit about Sidcot will know that we are a Quaker school, that we were founded by Quakers in 1699. And when we arrived at the site we're on now in 1808, we were the first co-educational school in the UK. So the first school that recognised that boys and girls should be taught together to have equal access to education. And a Quaker in the 1980s was heard to say that the two most important qualities for young people today are hope and imagination. Hope to believe they can change the world they live in, and imagination to find ways to do so. It feels like that could be no more relevant a mission statement for any school in the times that we're in at the moment, and that's something that we embrace wholeheartedly here at Sidcot. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. I hope that you're going to take the opportunity to find out a little bit more about us, and that if this is a good fit for your son and daughter, we look forward to welcoming them to our school community in the near future. However, we do have a bit of music to round things off, so do please sit back and enjoy a performance from the Sidcot musicians of 4 Chords, and thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning.
Forever young. in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. I come to the land down under the red, white, and blue. The funny things you do forever. The chapter of life. I see you all over me in my head. You fulfill my fantasy. Something right now, something keeps so complicated. See the way that I apologize. Too late, too late. Just gonna stand there and watch me burn. But that's alright because I like the way it hurts. It's my life, it's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. And I can be mine, oh, it can be mine. Love the way I'm a body that's away. All acquaintance people gone. I never broke through mine. I'm more than a brother, I'm more than a babe. I'm a babe, the babe. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Don't stop believing. My grace, my love. My life is brilliant, my life is pure. I saw an angel, a lamb show. People killing, people dying, children dying and crying. And you practice what you preach, won't you turn me